Life for All presents Daily Food series, The Word of Life, The Fellowship of Life, and Living Stones for the Edification, the Epistles of John and Peter. Title of Book 3, Choose Life, by Pedro. Week 3, we are of God, and the world lies in the power of the evil one. Sunday, simple, humble, clean, and pure. Read with prayer. Now all these things happened to them as examples, and they were written for our admonition, upon whom the ends of the ages have come. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 11. When a member of the body of Christ commits something unrighteous, it interferes with the fellowship of the body. This is not a sin unto death. So we can pray to the Lord, asking Him to restore this brother or sister to the fellowship of life. It is important to pray for one another to maintain the healthiness of the body, so that no one is deprived of the supply of life. In cases of sin unto death, the Apostle John tells us not to pray on behalf of the person, because this type of sin directly violates the principle of God's authority. The sin unto death indicates the nature of the sin. Some types of sin lead to death, and the verse refers to physical death. If anyone sees his brother sinning a sin which does not lead to death, he will ask, and the Lord will give him life for those who commit sin not leading to death. There is a sin leading to death, and I do not say that you should pray about that. 1 John chapter 5, verse 16. In Numbers 12, there's a record of Miriam and Aaron questioning the authority of Moses, who did not defend himself. God Himself disciplined them for speaking against Moses. At that time, Miriam walked towards death because she became a leper. Aaron was desperate and asked Moses to pray for her so that she would not die. In Numbers 16, we have another example, the rebellion of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram, who accused Moses of exalting himself over the congregation. Moses fell on his face because he realized the gravity of such an act. And he spoke to the congregation, saying, "Depart now from the tents of these wicked men. Touch nothing of theirs, lest you be consumed in all their sins." So they got away from around the tents of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. And Dathan and Abiram came out and stood at the door of their tents with their wives, their sons, and their little children. And Moses said, "By this you shall know that the Lord has sent me to do all these things, for I have not done them of my own will. If these men die naturally like all men, or if they are visited by the common fate of all men, then the Lord has not sent me. But if the Lord creates a new thing, and the earth opens its mouth and swallows them up with all that belongs to them, and they go down alive into the pit, then you will understand that these men have rejected the Lord." Now it came to pass, as he finished speaking these words, that the ground split apart under them, and the earth opened its mouth and swallowed them up, and with their households and all the men of Korah, with all their goods. So they and all those with them went down alive into the pit. The earth closed over them, and they perished from among the assembly. Numbers chapter 16, verses 26 through 33. In my way of interpreting, this is an example of sin unto death. In the first epistle to the Corinthians, we see a warning from the Apostle Paul about the situation of the people of Israel, most of whom were overthrown in the wilderness. But with most of them God was not well pleased, for their bodies were scattered in the wilderness. Now these things became our examples, to the intent that we should not lust after evil things as they also lusted. And do not become idolaters as some of them. As it is written, the people sat down to eat and drink and rose up to play. Nor let us commit sexual immorality as some of them did. And in one day 23,000 fell. Nor let us tempt Christ as some of them also tempted and were destroyed by serpents. Nor complain as some of them also complained and were destroyed by the destroyer. Now all these things happened to them as examples, and they were written for our admonition, upon whom the ends of the ages have come. Therefore let him who thinks he stands take heed lest he falls. Chapter 10, verses 5 through 12. Beloved, in order to fall, all it takes is to be standing. Let us be alert and take care of our hearts. In other passages of the Bible, we are warned not to associate with those who cause divisions by disobeying the word and spreading negative speaking. Romans chapter 16, verses 17 through 19, and 2 Thessalonians chapter 3, verse 14. John emphasizes that those who are born of God have his life, live in fellowship with him, and do not live in sin. God keeps them, and the wicked one does not touch them. 1 John chapter 5, verses 18 and 19. The verse refers especially to the divine being generated by God in our regenerated spirit. This divine being does not allow us to live in the practice of sin, and the wicked one does not touch us. Therefore, we do not need to fear the devil, even in the face of a fierce battle. Sometimes the atmosphere becomes heavy, and everything seems very difficult. But we should not fear because the wicked one cannot touch us. I believe that we will win all the battles and bring the Lord back. The church is the Lord's instrument to accomplish his will. It is made up of those born of God who are governed in life by Christ. In contrast, Satan uses the world and manipulates it completely to oppose God. The world is systematized by the devil and lies lifeless in the wicked one. Dear reader, remain in the fellowship of life. Do not let Satan defeat you in combat because of sin, especially sexual immorality, which can destroy your service to the Lord. Also, do not let yourself be overcome by the world by allowing pride to take over your heart and lead you to feel superior to the other brothers and sisters. This will also jeopardize your service to the Lord. Keep yourself simple, humble, clean, and pure as a living member of the body of Christ in the fellowship of life.